So, one thing that you give up too early in home.
Is this a constant thing?
No, just one thing. No, well, yeah, it could be. It could be. Like I was telling them, everybody's pretty much done this already, but it could be like, hey, a customer just said, this is too expensive, and you went ahead and just gave up too early. So it could be just something as simple as that.
That's exactly it.
Well, there you go. Write it down. Write it down. Write it down. While you guys are, I see a couple of you kind of getting that. I do want to also say, hey, Happy New Year. I wore my sparklies today. So, as you go into, tonight, make sure that you stay safe. Make sure that you watch out for those other drivers. If you go out and about. Dwayne, did you get a piece of paper?
I got a piece.
Okay. Did you write it down? You have to participate.
I don't have a piece.
Oh, my Lord. You gave up to this.
You gave it to me?
You gave out too easy. What's one thing you gave it to and you didn't find a pen? Just write that down. Funny. Alrighty. You people getting in there. Alrighty, so today, this is what we're going to talk about. Not giving up in the living room, or not giving up at the kitchen table, or wherever you guys talk to, whether it's back at the thermostat or outside by the condenser, not quitting, not giving up. This is a new year to reset your belief, your education with the customer, your care for the customer. This is a new set and a new year. And that's what we tend to do is we reflect on the last 12 months and look at, hey, how can we be better or different the next 12 months? I was listening to a podcast this morning, so I'm going to add this on here real quick. They talk about what you're going to do different this year, and a couple things that the guy said was like, look at your life as if it were a scary movie, and what do they do when you're watching a scary movie? You're yelling at the screen, telling that person to don't go into that room or run or get up, right? What would you tell yourself going into 2026? What would you be yelling at the screen at yourself to say, get up or run or, whatever? So I thought that was a pretty good perspective to think about. And then in addition to that, sometimes when you change something of yourself, like I'm going to work out more, what are those things that you say you're going to do? Sometimes you have to give up something. And so it's hard to change and make something new happen if you don't give up something. So if you're going to go work out, right? I say that to myself. I'm going to work out every year and then I never do. But then I have to make sure that I'm going to give up maybe a little bit of extra sleep, or I got to get up earlier, or I've got to change another habit. So it only happens if you rearrange your daily habits. All right? So just something to think about as you go into the year here. So one of the things I like John C. Maxwell, there's a quote that I heard, and I didn't actually realize it was John C. Maxwell who said it. So if you ever do any reading from him, he's great. Is one I've been saying here recently, which is if you're not winning, you're learning. I love that one. I love that. If you're not winning, you're learning. So I heard somebody say that, and then as I was doing some research for a quote, I was like, oh, that was John who said that. But he also said this, and I totally believe in this quote. And so much so I wanted to throw it up here. Small disciplines repeated with consistency every day lead to great achievements gained slowly over time. So what does that mean? What that means is that it's not one heroic event. It's not one huge closed deal. It's not one major thing that's happening. It's the small, daily, consistent habits. Actually, David was saying it with the 1% every single day. It fits right into what we're talking about. Doing the little bitty things every single day. Staying with it every day and not quitting, and not putting it aside, letting it fluff off to the way. It's staying consistent every day, staying in the conversation with the customer will deliver great results, gains customer trust, and in the end, great success, right? So I have a story real quick. You may have heard this story, but it's such a great story that there was this man. He was 65 years old, and his name was Colonel Harlan Sanders, and he was broke. I mean, I'm not talking about the equipment was broke. This man was broke, all right? He had no money to his name, but he did have one thing, and that one thing was a fried chicken recipe, and that is it, right? So what he did with that, though, is that he took that recipe, he drove across the country, slept in his car, and he went to restaurant to pitch his recipe. And with that, he got the door slammed in his face. He got restaurant owners to actually laugh at him or even shut the door. They didn't give him a chance. But I think I have a little bit on that. He heard no 1,000 times. Can you guys relate? He heard no 1,000 times before one restaurant finally said yes. Why? Because he refused to quit. Now, the recipe didn't change. The value didn't change. He just refused to quit. That's what I want you guys to take into 2026. I want you to reflect on yourselves, on what do you do in the home and with customers, or what do you do with yourself and in life, right? So when a homeowner says no, don't take it personal. They're not rejecting you, right? They're just they're reacting, just as if you're reacting. Okay, and that's why sometimes we take that personal, because we think it's personal rejection. So remind yourself that they're they've got stuff going on in their life. They weren't thinking about it. Now now they have fear, they have doubt, they have things they're not expressing to you. That's your job, is to pull those things out, right? So our job is to, of course, not force the yes. We're not here to convince. We're here to guide and persuade them. And you do that through educating and guiding them and bringing them. You're the expert in your field, so you're the one who has to make sure that you talk to them to the talking points. But we also, this is one thing that I want you guys to really lean into as well, which is care. Care about the customer more than they may care about the situation. Sometimes that urgency isn't created because they don't understand the immediacy of what's happening. Right? The money they're throwing away, the future-proofing their equipment so that they can last as long as possible, getting rid of microbial growth in the home or the dust. So those things, you have to care, though, about that. If you don't come across as caring, why would I be, wanting to make that change? It has to start with you first. So I want to make sure you lean into that, and then more importantly, stay in the conversation. Don't quit. Figure out the ways to stay there, right? So, as we head into the new year, I'll give myself a place here. I want you to believe in what you're offering. And when you believe in what you're offering, right? I mean, if you don't believe it, how's a customer going to buy into it? So when you believe in what you're offering, make sure that you don't quit in a home, don't stop educating, don't give up too early. And guys, this isn't about just your job, okay? This is about in your own life, in your own, your health, your family, your own future. Make sure that you don't quit too soon. Make sure that you throw in everything that you've got, care enough for the things that are happening within you, and make sure that what you do with the piece of paper that you have in front of you right now, right? I want you to pick it up. I want you to crumble it up. I want you to crumble it up. Everybody. Crumble it up, Mike. Crumble it up. And then what I want you to do with that? Throw it in the trash. Throw it at me. There we go, right here. Throw it. Let's see if you get. Oh, somebody got it. Somebody hit me. Oh, Israel got it. Almost. Almost. The back row is trying. Dee, that's close. This far away. That's far away. Everybody get it? Oh, we got another one here. All right, I got somebody. Darn it. Almost, right. So throwing that darn thing in the trash, keep that in. What I want you to think about is tonight, is I want you to remember what you did this morning is throwing away what you gave up too early, throwing that away and knowing that today, or tonight when we go into next year, that it's a new year. Right? So taking that new year, a new beginning, a new start, and leaving this stuff in the past. And remember, to make those new habits, sometimes we have to give something up to make a new habit, to make that change. And this can happen any time of year. It doesn't have to start tomorrow or today. We just reflect on it usually this time of year. So having a little fun exercise by leaving it into tomorrow. You guys, thank you so much. Have a great new year, and thank you for everything you guys have done this year.